Using subscripted variables. Usually in math, when we talk about variables, we're talking about X or Y or A, any letter of the alphabet that represents a number. A subscripted variable is usually an uppercase letter that is subscripted by another letter. The reason that we may do this is because let's say we're talking about the distance. And we have the distance that it takes from home to the store versus the distance from home to the movie theater. And so to represent this in an algebraic equation, we would say d sub s for distance to the store and d sub m for distance to the movie theater. And so given the system of equations, d sub s minus d sub m equals 2, and d sub s plus d sub m equals 8, may be scary at first until you recognize it is simply a sister equation to x minus y equals 2 and x plus y equals 8. If you're used to solving systems of equation, that probably looks a lot nicer, but it solves the exact same way. This particular system of equation is set up for elimination, so let's add these two equations together. And so d sub s plus d sub s is 2d sub s. Negative d sub m plus d sub m is 0. And 2 plus 8 equals 10. So we have 2d sub s equals 10. We divide both sides by 2. And we get d sub s equals 5. Let's put d sub s back into the equation. So 5 minus d sub m equals 2. We subtract 5 from both sides of the equation, and we get negative d sub m equals negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 1, and we get d sub m equals 3. So the distance to the store is 5 miles, and the distance to the movie theater is 3. Let's look at another example using different subscripted variables. So negative 2 n sub n plus n sub d equals 2, and n sub d equals n sub n plus 6. Again, this could be written as negative 2x plus y equals 2 and y equals x plus 6. And remember that solving this system of equations is no easier or harder than solving this one. There's just more letters to write. So this particular system of equations is set up for substitution. So let's substitute n sub n in place of n sub d in this first equation. So we get negative 2 n sub n plus n sub n plus 6. And that took the place of n sub d in the first equation, equals 2. Now since there is nothing to distribute, let's go ahead and combine like terms. So negative 2 n sub n plus n sub n is negative n sub n plus 6 equals 2. Subtract 6 from both sides, and we get negative n sub n equals negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 1, and we get n sub n equals positive 4. Now let's put that positive 4 back in place to n sub n. So we get n sub d equals 4 plus 6, and n sub d equals 10. And that's how simple it is to use subscripted variables. You simply use them as though they were your normal x, y, a, b, whatever you're used to using.